Hey guys, it's Cara from Enchanted Vines. We are on to our second color palette for our Mother's Day wreath workshop. So here we go. Okay, to avoid this feeling too much like Groundhog Day, I already prepped my materials and we're gonna just jump right into this. Okay, we're gonna start with our bow. So for this one, we are doing a pink and purple combo. And I am still eating gummy worms. Those are my updates on video number 2. Get my tails kind of situated. Now we're going to get going on our ficus. Top corner. Bottom corner. Now this wreath is pretty skimpy, but I'm using it because once we're done, we're going to be covering up all the parts that make it look skimpy. Alright, give it a bend. We're going to go side to side, set our parameter for how far out this is going to go. I'm going to make an effort to not have this one be quite as big. Let's see how I do. Alright, we did the top. And now we're going to do the bottom, give it a nice little bend. All of our materials are from Pioneer, except for the bow. The ribbon is from Craft Outlet, and it was very inexpensive in the 50-yard roll. And the grapevine base is 18 inches, and I get them through Michael's Pro, so they come in cases of 12. And it's often very hit or miss, so you gotta brace yourself. But I wouldn't discourage you from ordering from them either, because it's more good than not, but just there's some inconsistencies. I feel like they probably get sourced from different places at different times. Alright. Now I want to start doing this because I feel like this area is one I always end up coming back to, so we're going to put 8 down instead of our usual 6. I think that is going to be helpful. So once I finished the first wreath, the coral, I grabbed my notepad and I wrote down all the materials. So what I'm going to do after is go and look at my Pioneer invoice, see what I paid per item, and then now that we've talked about that whole tax thing, we really need to be adding 10% on to the cost of our materials. So thank you, Marion, because that never occurred to me. So that has to be calculated in. Everything needs to be calculated in. So one of my peonies' heads fell off. I'm just trying to find its carcass. Here we go. I usually don't have this issue with any of the floral heads coming off from Pioneer. This is a fluke. Okay. So this time we are going to do the flower placement like how I should have the first time, because we kind of learned as we went. So I'm going to start with doing the hydrangeas at the bow. Dipping into my Surebonder pot. Okay, and we're keeping in mind the shape and the size of these. Some are round and some are more like rectangular, I guess. not a whole lot for this guy to hang on to on this wreath on this side. It's gonna work. We're gonna have this gently nuzzling our bow without crowding it too much. Okay, so we have low. And let's go high. Let's repeat that down below. I did not realize, but when I was prepping these products, I left like a stem of that woodland fern or wood fern and too close to my glue pot, and Sasha melted it. She like basically ate it. All right, and 5 right here. All right, I know that's uneven, but let's see if that works anyways. Okay, so we're gonna go in with our lavender peonies, which I think people are really gonna love. I almost did the grape color, but I don't think that's for everybody. And so I decided let's hold off on that because I don't really want people asking to switch flowers around. I bring some extra, but it wouldn't be fair if I don't have enough for everybody's custom requests, so I try to avoid that. Going in. And I do think it's funny because there are such nice people that attend these workshops, but I always joke that they steal from each other because they kind of do. Like, keep your stuff in a neat pile. And like, I'll look at someone's like sweet grandma, I'm like, because they'll steal from you. And she will. All right, so I think I'm actually gonna give a 6th. Hydrangea so it's even. I might change my mind, but for the purpose of this design, let's do them evenly. For the coral one, I ended up taking, there was one piece of coral left and one piece of white hydrangea, so I ended up just putting them on either side of the bow, and they look nice. Okay. And now we have our little baby blooms. So let's do a little grouping. Mama baby peony, and I'm going to have the heads tilting in opposite ways. Give it that natural appearance. Okay. So right now we have one left over, and I'm going to put this up top. Not a lot to hold on to. Okay, now we're going to go in with our wood fern. I'm going to start at the bow. I'm going to do one above the bow, one below. I think usually I do top corner, but it's the end of the day. Might not be firing on all cylinders at this point. Okay. So we'll go to the top corner. It's just nice to lay it over in between our ficus. Get that nice textured look. And repeat that down below in this corner. So I feel like there are some people in this group that do run workshops, so I'd love to know more about it. Like if we have similar processes, SOPs, or do you have like some good systems for things? Okay, and now I'm just going to kind of take a step back and just start looking for where the bare areas are. Let's see, I've got like a hang up here. I'm going to move this. Part of it is I'm trying so hard not to block anything, so my perception is a bit skewed. Does that make it better? I think it does. Okay. We're just going to target some of the bare areas. And we definitely want to leave this out. We like these disruptors that are, you know, kind of popping out in between our flowers. To me, the airiness also kind of translates into, you know, good quality, expensive, not manufactured. All those things that us wreath makers do not like. Alright, so for this, instead of using the ranunculus like I did for the last one, we are going to be using these double cabbage roses. Okay, so they look very similar. It won't create any confusion or anything like that. So I'm going to start on the edge. So almost all of these have two heads, except for I think there's a stem or two that just have one. We'll kind of separate that out. Get that nice cascading element going on. I like the foliage on this, just this, ooh, I said I wouldn't do that. All right, pop that off. I was just trying to take the foliage off, but wreath maker strength, you know? So yeah, I'm just taking the greenery off because it's going to interfere. Actually, this is a slider or pusher. I never knew that. I can't even say how long I've been using these for, and I've always pulled them apart. Well, that's good to know. That's a lot easier. And then we get to keep the nice foliage. Okay. This is just kind of breaking it up a little bit. do the corners. So what this is I do want to spread these out. I want to kind of get the most bang for my buck and make them look like they're separate. So for this, there are, I believe, there's 6 stems, 5 are double, and 1 is just a lonely single floral. So let's put this, do one above our bow. Separate that. And then we'll put this lonely little guy under the bow. Okay. Now we are moving on to our greenery, the rest of our greens. So we're doing half a bush of eucalyptus, half a bush of mixed fern. So they're each 4 stems. There's 9 in each bush, but I'll just do the 4. And eucalyptus is just such a nice filler anyways. So many different forms of it. In the artificial and real world floristry. Below. I don't want this to be too compact. Okay. And one more, and we're going to go for this corner down here. Now we have our berries. So we have 2 small berries and then 1 of the larger berries. So let's see, we're going to put this on the end. Repeat below. And then we're going to go behind our bow. Okay, and our last piece to this whole thing are the mixed fern. So I always like these to be in like a prominent area. I really do love the way these look. I like how they fall in like a wispy kind of way. Bottom corner. So pretty. And let's do up here. And let's pull some of this through. That way we're really maximizing our product. And this, I'm going to pull some through and have some hanging down. All right, I'm taking a step back. This side is going to get me like every time. I think I should get a camera. You know how like when people go into the mines, they have like the light on their helmet? I should just have one of those on my head. And then I won't be blocking anything. She'll be right there with me. know my sweater is wrinkled and I thought about taking the time to use the steamer on it, but then I got distracted with the gummy worms. I really do not like ironing. I mean, steaming's not bad, but I just don't do it. Usually I just put clothes back in the dryer with like something wet. I like how this is going. Come on, guys. You're like our last step. Why do you have to be difficult? Okay, give everything a little zhuzh, a little fluffing. Sure everything is showing. Tails are all where they're supposed to be. This tail got glued on. No, that's fine. And for this leaf is, actually I can just turn it around. I was gonna snip it off, but it's fine. All right. Here is our second Mother's Day wreath sample in hot pink and lavender. Let's see. Okay. I won't bore you with the cleanup. You guys know it in your sleep by now, but all right. So this is our second one.